Are you doing the thing?
I am doing the thing. We are all
Are we
doing
live
the
now?
thing. And we are now live.
We are now live.
All
All
right.
right. Hello,
Okay.
everyone.
Hello,
Welcome to
everybody. Welcome to THC, Tinfoil Hat Club. I know there is another Tinfoil Hat Club out there, but it is tin space foil. So,
They
so we
amateurs,
should be okay.
absolute amateurs. Don't
Yeah.
listen to them.
Oh no, their production values are ridiculous. So I mean,
Well, that's a sure sign that they're amateurs
I know, right? But our production values are kind of middling because I'm doing everything on the fly.
because
As you
we're bringing you the truth.
That's right. That's right. The unvarnished truth. You right
All of
here.
our budget goes into research,
100%.
baby.
100% truth. That's right. That's right. So we're here to debunk and to validate
And you have to
conspiracy
debunk and
theories
rebunk.
and rebunk. Yes. And today we are here talking about the rabbit hole that is Labubu and Pazuzu, that whole satanic panic, and PragerU. Um, so, for anybody who
Nathan just
is not familiar with the whole Labubu thing,
Nathan just sent me a message saying that your volume is way lower than mine.
oh goodness. All
I don't know
right.
if you can adjust that.
Okay, hang on.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why that would be. Let's see.
That may be, I don't know either. I just wanted to pass it on.
No, no, no. Hang on. I'm checking. Yeah, it's all the way up.
Why do they make it so hard to put my phone on silent mode?
Why is this so difficult?
Fucking Apple. They're just like, no, you don't really need that.
I do not. I don't know why my sound is. Is this any better? Is it
Oh,
leaning
that is
into the
better.
mic?
Yes.
Okay, I will bring the
Now
mic
he
closer up to
says
my
now he can
face.
hear us both.
Okay, all right. Mic is up. All right,
All right, excellent.
good to
So
go.
Labubu, Pazuzu, and PragerU,
Oh my God, yes.
the three beasts of today's apocalypse.
So I don't know if anybody has seen. There are posters going around by an organization that has created a website called labubuissatan.com. And they are apparently raising $150,000 to buy and destroy the world's largest Labubu, which they term as the Alpha Demon. On this poster, you see a picture of Labubu wearing, I mean, like he looks like
A
he has a little.
standard Labubu.
Well, it's a standard
I
Labubu,
learned
but he's
doing my
like
research.
in a little shirt. He's got jeans. He's got shoes, and
Yeah.
it says Labubu under it. And next to that is an AI rendering of Pazuzu going, "Ha, hi, I'm Mickey Mouse," and
Yeah, it doesn't
it's
even
very
like look.
weird.
It just sort of looks like a generic devil.
It
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 doesn't
really
really look
does.
like Pazuzu,
It really
um,
does.
which tells you everything you need to know about the general authority of these particular, uh, subgenius demonologists,
Yeah,
that they couldn't even identify the correct demon.
yeah, yeah. As we both know, but the audience probably doesn't. Um, Pazuzu is an ancient Mesopotamian deity who was well known to the Babylonians and Assyrians throughout the first millennium BCE. Thanks,
Yeah,
Wikipedia.
yeah.
He's shown with like a kind of a canine face, although I see it as almost leonin with the way it
It's
kind of
very
like the
like
face curls.
it's very much more lion face than dog face, although people associate him with both animals. Um, but like the most pertinent thing to understand about Pazuzu is that even though he was polarically on the evil side of the divine pantheon, he was a king who exercised power over other evil deities like the Lamatsu, who killed pregnant women and babies and newborns and was responsible for all kinds of bad things that happened to women back in those days. And Pazuzu was invoked as a protection against that particular demoness,
Mm-hmm.
demigoddess. There's good arguments to be made that Lamatsu was a goddess in her own right because she was able to murder infants basically for shits and giggles.
Yeah, fair enough. It's a
Yeah, well, and
Tuesday.
the
Got
idea
to have
was
some baby.
like to be that a demon would not be able to do that unless they were instructed to do so by a deity. So her
I am not sure what just happened. Hang on.
but her autonomy that
I lost you for a second there. I'm not sure why. If you could go back like a minute in what you were saying.
oh, so like Pazuzu protected, he was a king. In the Babylonian demonology, demons didn't have the autonomy to do things because they wanted to. They had to be told to do so by a higher deity.
Mm-hmm.
Ergo, Lamatsu's ability to basically kill children at will for her pleasure
Mm-hmm.
made her we're now demonetized. uh,
Well, it's
is an
I'm
indicator
seeing.
that she was a goddess in her own right because only a god would have that power of life and death.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't, and the only deity that controlled her was Pazuzu.
Mm-hmm.
So that's fascinating bit of mythology, but it's also important to remember that, the worship of Pazuzu died out under the Seleucids.
Okay.
And the Seleucids ceased to be a thing in 63 BC.
Okay.
So Pazuzu was probably dead in the by the first century BC
Fair enough.
as
I mean,
a as as an
until that
active
expedition dug up
until that
Pazuzu, and
expedition to
then we
Iraq.
have the Exorcist.
Fucking Peter Blatty,
God damn it.
William fucking Peter Blatty, who in my researches it
Hi,
appears
irony wit. We have a comment. Ancient evil.
yes
Well,
indeed the
he can
ancient
be considered ancient evil. He's an apotropaic entity. He's considered both a personification of destruction and dangerous wind, but as a repellent to other demons, i.e., Lamashtu. He
yeah he's a
safeguards the home from influence. His father was Hanbi, who
yeah
is considered the staggering one or the perverted one. That motherfucker evil.
yeah he's evil.
Like
He is
yeah,
pure evil.
yeah,
And
unadulterated, no good side to.
yeah, and like the the fundamental mechanisms of Pazuzu worship, although they say that they died out under the Seleucids, 100 years before the current Common Era, but um, the functional theology of the Yazidi, as it was explained to John Keel back in the 1950s,
Mhm.
and and a couple other adventurous scholars who went and asked them things, um, is you worship the God that's going to hurt you.
Oh, because you don't want them to. Well, I mean, and there were
The
other
good benevolent, the
traditions.
good
There were
benevolent God
other.
exists, but they're good and benevolent, so you don't really need to like propitiate them because they're not their function is not to fuck you up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like
Whereas the
in
God
the
whose
Norse
function is to
tradition.
fuck people up, you kind of want to bribe him a little bit.
Yeah. Whereas in the Norse tradition, people didn't really petition the gods because it's I mean they did when they needed them. It was kind of a last resort.
Hmm.
Um,
But Blatty, like in my notes, it says Blatty's Pazuzu is reduced to a two-dimensional stock villain.
yeah, like a cartoon character.
Yeah, like a cartoon character, like an avatar of the Catholic devil in a, postmodern morality play, basically. Like
Captain Howdy.
that's that's like But that Pazuzu is far better known. That perversion of Pazuzu is
Mm-hmm.
far better known than the actual historical deity. And
Well, Christians have really good PR.
oh yeah, there's no way around that. But that reminds me of Pazuzu Algarad, who died in 2015,
Mm-hmm.
who was a textbook dictionary definition of the word degenerate,
Mm.
primitive Satanist, probably severely mentally ill. I don't know how you get to the level of praxis that he was performing without a without a considerable deficit in mental health.
Yeah. Yeah. The empathy is probably pretty low in that
Well,
instance.
and he was doing a lot of meth.
That doesn't help.
Yeah, so that doesn't help exactly. So like that guy, like he did a lot of like gory sacrifice of animals, very abusive to people around him. Definitely a couple of murders.
Yeah.
Definitely a couple of murders. The murders are like typical redneck shit. It like doesn't really tie in with the Satanism,
Yeah.
like, but you know, he was also in this state of degeneracy where he had transformed an entire house into an active, ongoing degradation ritual.
I tend to think that human beings are fantastic adaptations. Like
Yeah,
we can literally adapt to any situation you put us in over
the
time.
strange, the strangest thing about that whole case
Mhm.
is his mother, who owned the house,
Mhm.
who her bedroom was pristine,
Mhm.
right? No one was allowed in there. It was exactly as you would expect a Southern lady's bedroom to be.
Yeah, yeah.
And the whole rest of the house was a feral dump.
Oof.
And like he would perform animal sacrifices on the spot as the will struck him and leave the carcass to rot where he did the ritual. Like
Well, I tend to think that
that
I
level of
mean,
shit.
if we're talking good and evil,
Yeah.
I think that evil is I've been talking about this a lot lately. Indigenous Americans
Yeah.
have a term called wetigo.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is an illness that inflicts human beings that takes away their empathy, their ability to understand that we're all connected to each other, and
Yeah.
we become singular, and we become very parasitic and hostile to each other.
Yeah.
And when that starts happening, I would imagine that the quality of your living place starts degrading because you no longer really identify with the world as it is. I mean, if you go
Yeah.
into a drug house, you're going to see bare mattresses with
Oh
horrific
yeah.
stains and makeshift ashtrays made out of tinfoil or whatever you can find,
Oh
needles,
yeah.
but there's no decorations or anything.
No.
So I
Except
mean
for
it.
what might have been on the wall before the place went to shit.
Yeah,
You know, and maybe some like horrific graffitis.
yeah, and I think
But
that's definitely the sign of a mind in decline when you're unable to recognize awful or rotting
yeah,
or yeah.
but Pazuzu Algarad, um, in his bio, one of the things that stands out is that he watched The Exorcist a lot as a
Mm,
young child. He had a babysitter who said that he watched that movie every weekend. He was
mm,
obsessed with that movie.
yeah.
And so you can look at the psychology and go that this kid who was clearly, traumatized growing up, latched on to this movie
Hmm.
as some kind of perpetual, like, comfort thing.
Yeah.
Strange, but possibly, comfort in a power fantasy of being able to control adults with demonic possession, and
Mm.
the naivety as a child to go, I'm actually going to try and do it.
Mm.
And
Mm.
the like the way that that came about, the way that that resolves, it seems like he literally managed to manifest an egregore of that fictional cartoon demon.
So like a sort of like a tulpa?
So, well, maybe not a tulpa in that tulpas take on, dimensional perceptibility,
Yeah.
but the egregore in that, he wasn't invoking the historical demon, which, doesn't really exist in functional religion anymore.
Yeah.
You know, but or in living religion, it's not really a thing.
Mhm.
But he managed to manifest the the thing from the movie that resonated with him
Okay.
as a as a god that was real to him,
Mhm.
that he could get because like the illogic of his, like, he was, unwashed, he had filed his teeth down to points, he had nasty dreads, he had homemade tattoos all over his face and body, and yet he got ass.
Mm.
And
It's amazing when you are inured to that kind of weird charismatic lure beyond that surface. Ah!
right, well, like
And you wonder how people fall for it. I mean,
it was
consistently.
alleged that he had like supernatural charisma, that he was just like incredibly charismatic, that he could, that, like, obviously not everyone, but the thing
Yeah.
that's crazy is part of the mystery is that the house was located in a unincorporated land between two or three towns in the Raleigh Durham suburbs,
So
but
you've
we're
got that as a liminal space
yeah, so it's a
on top of
liminal
it.
space, but it's also a legally liminal space in that,
Okay.
none of the cops in the neighboring jurisdictions could necessarily get a warrant to execute on the property because it was outside of all the incorporated areas, or at least that was their excuse for not having ever done so before the
Mm.
murders were found
Okay.
out. But the flip side of it is that it really seems like the cops were afraid of the fucking place.
Well, shit, wouldn't you be?
Well, yeah, probably. I mean, it looked pretty freaking scary in the pictures on Vice. Like,
Yeah.
like
I
the
like I'll go to houses where people are haunted and they want it resolved.
yeah.
Places where it's haunted and they want it to get worse, I don't fuck with.
No, no, you can't be fucking with places like that. It's
No.
just bad practice. But
All right, so we've kind of gone over
so that's
Pazuzu.
Pazuzu. But what I wanted to uh, bring up that came up in my researches that got me uh, excited was the the whole, like, if we acknowledge that, like, Pazuzu, the ancient deity, and Pazuzu as a manifestation of like supernatural evil in the world
Yeah.
in the modern era, like, there is a like crazy history of this uh, ascribing satanic qualities to like really popular collectibles targeted at children. I made a really short, incomplete list that includes the Teletubbies,
Mhm.
Garbage Pail Kids, Pokemon, Beanie Babies, and Teddy Ruxpin. And
Mm.
last but certainly not least, the Smurfs.
Well,
Smurfs, I don't know if you
so
knew this. Smurfs have been around since 1958.
yeah.
Like, they were like big in Europe for decades before they premiered on US television in 1981. And
Yep.
when US evangelicals got their eyes on these like absolutely benevolent nature. They're like nature elementals,
Oh yeah.
you know. And like, so I was able to find that this all goes back to a 90-minute evangelical propaganda video called Turmoil in the Toy Box that came out
Ooh.
in 1984. And like the guys behind it were called Phil Phillips and Gary L. Greenwald. And these are the maniacs who brought you the Ouija board satanic panic back in the 70s.
It's always the same bad faith actors.
Oh, yeah. Like, they just, in their book, I love this quote. They described the Smurfs as undead, transgendered, and gay.
Wow, that was really like
Makes me want to go back and watch the Smurfs again.
it does trans. I don't remember trans Smurfs.
So
Like
I
I mean,
remember
there's like like the Lady Smurf.
So Smurfette is the product of black magic. That is canonical. She was
Ah,
created by
okay,
Gargamel. I cannot
that's
remember
right. To lure, she was created with black hair,
right with the
and then
black
she
hair.
became blonde, which codes as safe.
Yes,
Ah,
the Louise Brooks original Smurfette was a wicked temptress, and I cannot remember if Gargamel created a Smurf homuncula from his like alchemical apparatuses, or if he captured a Smurf and transed them
mm,
through alchemical apparatuses. But you
yeah.
know, there are points where Smurfs die and are brought back to life with magic. I think there is transiness. There's definitely, oh damn it, the one thing I wanted to do was pull the clip from the Venture Brothers where the guys are arguing about whether or not Smurfs lay eggs.
Ah, oh God.
Because like the male to female ratio among Smurfs implies some level of gayness.
Well,
There's like
it also
way
implies some level of polyamory. I
right. But
mean,
there's just way too many dudes for that one Smurfette to like be hooking up with.
yeah. Well, I mean,
He'd be a
we are assuming that Smurfs have genitals, and we
We are
are
assuming that
assuming that they procreate through the same means that human beings do.
this is true. This is thus the excellent henchman debate about whether or not Smurfs lay eggs. Uh,
Maybe it's like clutches. She lays a clutch, and then all the other.
it's
I don't know. It's
like
like
who knows?
fish
Like
or frogs.
now they do introduce juvenile Smurfs in later seasons, which does muddy the waters
Oh
because now
my
you've
gosh,
got
that
juvenile Smurfs, which means there has to be some kind of. And I
or
don't think
there could just be some mystical cave that they're born out of, and then they
that's the
walk out of
thing
the
is I don't
cave.
think that Smurfette is the mother of any of those little shits. I think they
I
like
don't think.
find them in a cave or something.
Yeah, or that like
I
hack them out
don't
of
know too
rock.
much about Smurf trivia.
So back to Labubu.
So
I'm
back to Labubu.
I'm kind of mystified as to why Labubu is demonized and fucking Huggy Wuggy isn't.
I don't know what Huggy Wuggy is. I don't know if I have the bandwidth to absorb it.
So Huggy Wuggy is a horrific character. It's the antagonist of a cartoon or of something called Poppy Playtime,
Oh,
and
dear God. I don't.
it looks like it's a game. You must stay alive in this horror puzzle adventure. Try to survive the vengeful toys waited for you in the abandoned toy factory. And
But
man, Huggy
you're
Wuggy is terrifying. He's got these.
weeping fuck. Oh my God.
Right. Like if anything's demonic, fucking Huggy Wuggy is. Come on, man.
That's like that's like explicitly demon. Maybe it's too demonic. Maybe it doesn't have enough. Like maybe maybe okay. So first, it's a video game thing.
Yeah. Right.
So evangelicals don't know about that at all.
Oh yeah.
Like they don't fuck with the Pac-Mans
Yeah, true.
and the Sega Genesis that's stolen from God. You know that. You know they
Yeah.
stole Genesis
Yeah.
from God. Like that's the kind of idiots we're talking about here. So we can pretty much like they don't know about anything on video games, but Labubus are this like Labubus are a fascinating phenomenon because Ka-Sing Lung, who invented the Labubu, is a person with a very unique background. His family is indigenous Hong Kongese.
Okay.
So he was raised by his grandparents uh, in a village in Hong Kong until he was like 7 or 8. And then he came to the Netherlands to live with his parents, where he got into Norse myths because the teacher gave him books of Norse myths to read to help improve his Dutch.
Okay. Okay.
And he was fascinated by this idea of like illustrated books full of like weird stories about scary monsters and such.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And that inspired him to go into art and design and become a designer. And the Labubu is this thing that he used to sketch in his notebooks that he eventually worked up into the 2015 book, The Monsters.
Okay.
And so it's very analogous to Hello Kitty,
Oh yeah.
where
Yeah.
he had this character that he had developed. And then because he had ties to Hong Kong
Mhm.
and the design world in Hong Kong,
Yeah.
it was very easy being based in the was it the Netherlands or Belgium?
Netherlands, you said.
I said Netherlands, but I think I'm wrong because I think he speaks Dutch. No, 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 no. No, yeah, Netherlands.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, he lives in the Netherlands. So between the Netherlands and Hong Kong, he knew the people to get his books merchandised, to get little figures, make little limited run figures from these same companies that do like Funko Pops and shit.
Yeah, that makes sense. That
So
makes
he was
sense.
tied into this perfect marketing opportunity with his little characters.
Yeah,
And the
it
little characters, I gotta say, the little characters are pretty great. I find them
oh,
amusing. I don't,
they're adorable. I mean, but
yeah,
this is we're talking Cabbage Patch and Furby levels of frenzy
yeah,
in terms of just shopping, in
right.
terms of like just capitalism. But you
Well, and
add the satanic panic on top of it, and then you got shit that's selling like hotcakes because
well, and it's amazing how much like the Satanic Panic functions to like the way the way Satanic Panics work in real life is the opposite of their stated goal.
yeah.
That makes sense. Like they'll say they want to stomp out the Satanism, but there's more Satanists in the world today
Mhm.
who have been drawn to Satanism as a way of rejecting their family religion because they have religious trauma from their family.
Oh god, yeah.
So they go to the Satanic Temple because it's easy to join
Yeah.
and totally not a
Yeah.
cult. Totally not a cult.
Are we officially
Cannot
are
catch
we
me
officially
on film
debunking that?
saying the Satanic Temple is a cult. I would never say that. I have no reason to believe it to be true.
Oh man. Oh
But
man.
anyway,
Well, I mean, for those who aren't familiar, the Satanic Panic was basically fully created whole cloth by a group of self-professed Christians, because these people that create these things, they do not believe in God and Jesus as having empathy or giving a fuck about anybody. It really
Yeah,
is
no,
all
they're just
about,
grifters.
yeah, it's a grifting model,
It's
and
a grift.
it's been successful, and it continues to be successful. I mean, we're still seeing people doing the satanic panic with Labubu, and it's fucking 2025.
Well, and I have to take a step back, and there's no, I couldn't find any church or preacher or charismatic entity taking credit for the Labubu is Satan campaign,
Hmm.
which causes me to take a step back and go, could this be marketing?
Yeah.
Could this be purely a viral marketing, like get people excited about Labubu by putting out this idea that Labubu is Pazuzu? Um,
It's
and
hard to say what came first, whether it was somebody who decided to kind of tip off a Christian organization, whether it was the creator of the doll themselves. I mean, that's a really
right,
great way to get press,
right,
you know.
exactly. Or someone working in that like universe of, because there's no way this is a one man show. Like you like to do the level of like what is it, the blind box, the like you don't know what's in, you buy a box, you don't know what's in it, it has a limited edition figure in it, like all of that stuff takes like whole design firms to pull off. So
Mm-hmm.
there could be any number of people in charge of marketing that stuff and coming up with like weird viral ways to like get more people interested. I know we would not be talking about it if they hadn't, you know,
Yeah,
manifested it the way they did.
exactly.
And, so like the idea that it's a marketing grift um, is like
Brilliant.
brilliant and like tediously predictable for
Oh
the
yeah.
world in which we live, you
Well,
know.
I mean, humanity hasn't really evolved much beyond distraction. You know,
No,
movies, books, TVs, drama. You know, we're all drawn to watching people get hurt and then the hero coming and saving the day.
we are a culture of people that have like intentionally made a collective decision to go back into Plato's cave and
Right.
put
That's a
a
really good way
rock
of saying
against the
it.
door.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. You
Just like wedge a rock up there. It's like, no, we are in the cave. We are watching the show. That shit out there is too real.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the rest of us have to live in this reality where there are a lot of people who are detached from reality. And
Yeah.
that is one of them is certainly Mr. Dennis Mark Prager.
Oh, that was a go. Can I just thank you for that segue? That was flawless.
You're very welcome. Like that guy. Oh my God, I hate that guy.
Yeah,
I
Dennis Prager and others like him.
Well, and
Um,
he is really a Nexus mastermind. Like he creates a whole universe of others like him. He
hmm.
platforms people with crazy ass ideas. We were talking before we went live that I didn't write down the son of a bitch's name, unfortunately, but the the guy who made CRT
Hmm.
a thing that conservatives were all like a conservative talking point.
Hmm.
Um, that guy is a Prager U. You
Alum.
wouldn't have a job if
Yeah.
you didn't work at Prager U. Uh, but Prager U's like, hey, you're a terrible racist piece of shit with like an Ivy League degree. Would you like to write for us?
Hmm.
And boom, there you go. Like,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of intersectionality, especially back channel intersectionality between PragerU and uh, Daily Wire, and like they're all their own little companies with their own little like narcissistic weirdos, running the show and
Yeah.
hiring all the different kinds of bigots and all of that. But actually, like the money tends to like all be coming from the thing that we're doing conspiracy theories. It's the money
Oh yeah. It
is
it
all
all
coming.
goes it all siphons up to the top. Money always falls up.
Well, let's see. Ferris Wilkes is the sugar daddy of this. The Wilkes brothers are the sugar daddies
Mm,
of this media empire.
yeah.
That both Ben Shapiro and Dennis Prager, and Ben Shapiro is very much like a Dennis Prager protege. One of the really troubling things that I came up with when I was doing, because full disclosure, I used to watch Prager back in the '90s
Yeah.
and kind of enjoy his like religious chat show thing that he was doing back then in the
Yeah.
like late '80s, early '90s. But um, when I was doing my background research, I found that in 1983 he wrote a book called. Technically, he co-authored the book, but it's very proud of the fact that the book was written. Uh, Why the Jews? The Reason for Anti-Semitism.
Yeah, I
Which
saw that.
it's a bold topic to take on and to
Mhm.
propose that the answer. But it turns out that his answer is that the term he used was a sinister form of flattery. According to Dennis Prager,
Mhm.
Jews are innately superior to other people, and to deny that is anti-Semitism.
So in the same way that saying um, that religious faiths other than Christian should exist on the planet, that is somehow being anti-Christian.
Yes,
Hmm.
yes, exactly. It's like he's a radical theist,
Well,
and
it
his
kind of
God is.
makes sense. Apparently, Marissa Straight, a former Israeli army intelligence member,
Yeah.
and the headmistress of a Los Angeles County school, joined in 2009 and was made the CEO in 2011.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
worth mentioning that this is not an accredited university.
Not at all,
You
not in any
know,
way, shape, or form. But like, uh,
sorry, I
he
made
put
you
this,
lose your
he put
place.
this in his own Wikipedia page. I don't know it. I don't know like who exactly is it that has said this, but I am confident that Prager is narcissistic enough that he updates his own Wikipedia page.
I would not be surprised. I would not be
Uh,
surprised.
and so on his Wikipedia page appears the ominous phrase, some people say he's a Jewish Billy Graham.
Oh my God.
And I spent a lot of
Mm.
time thinking about that when I was doing my research. And of course, he is reactionary. He's anti-liberal. He is a staunch enemy of the LGBT folk.
Of
He is
course.
he has a long history of problematic statements regarding sex within marriage, age of consent laws, pornography, simulated child pornography,
Wow. Mm.
which yeah, that one's
Yeah.
really
Oh.
sticky because it was a gotcha question in a debate about evil,
Yeah.
and he wouldn't commit to say that artificial drawings, cartoons, AI of that perverse behavior
Mm-hmm.
he wouldn't commit to say that was evil. He would say the real thing is evil. No one should do that to children.
But if you
But
knock up a 12-year-old, you can marry her. Am I right? Am I right?
he's
Uh
made
huh.
weird comments about what constitutes children. That's for
Uh
goddamn sure.
huh.
But the argument that you know someone what is the term, a map, a minor
Mm.
attracted person
Yeah.
uh, using pornography prophylactically
We'll keep them from,
to keep them from offending.
yeah.
Uh,
But your brain doesn't know that that's not
that's
real.
the thing is like
That's the
like
problem.
his answer like it, but it reflects a lot about how his mind works and his own internal psychology, that like he's willing to have a philosophical debate about whether or not that kind of pornography is evil,
Mhm.
rather than addressing that actually either way it's psychologically unhealthy. But he's a big, like, as conservatives go, like one of the things where he really stands out is that he's a big fan of porn.
Oh,
Like,
like
I would call
shocker.
him a big
They
fan.
wanna it is everything for me and none for thee.
Well, no, like he advocates, like he's doing the free speech absolutist thing,
Mhm.
that like,
So
you
child
know,
porn is a First Amendment right?
right. Well, not child
Ugh.
porn, but porn. Like he thinks that unmarried men should use porn instead of fornicating. He thinks that that men who aren't satisfied in their married relationships should use porn instead of cheating.
Or instead of, I don't know, talking to their partner about
Oh,
their
I
sex
that's
life,
the thing. That's the
having
thing
a
is,
conversation.
if you're teaching sex ed to 12 to 13 year olds, it sort of makes sense to say, hey, instead of going out and doing something that's going to affect other people,
Mhm.
just grab a magazine.
Yeah.
But it
You can
doesn't.
take care of the problem yourself.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like he's actually making some kind of sense, except that he's not up to date on the like psychological research that finds that actually, prophylactic porn use makes maps more likely to offend.
Well, and it also there is a tendency to, because the brain gets used to the input, it needs more and more bizarre stuff to
Right,
get
exactly.
to the end point, and so you end up with a whole bunch of really
It's very
uncomfortable stuff
well.
that's
Here's the
out
thing:
there.
is the more impressionable you are, the more dangerous it is to engage with.
That
Because
makes sense.
I'm a big like ambivalence guy because I'm very pro porn.
Yeah. Well, I write fanfic
Yeah,
that is erotic. I write erotica.
yeah,
I used to watch very female gaze oriented porn. So
yeah.
yeah.
Like as an artist, I am like 100% pro porn, free expression. People should be able to do sex work, have fun, blah blah blah. But I have huge problems with the way that it's been commodified, and like the internet democratized porn and then showed us what a terrifyingly bad idea that could be.
Whoo-hoo, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I
So
mean,
like I'm
right
pro
now the
democratizing porn. I am very critical of this particular demos.
I get that. I get that.
Yeah.
So apparently a day ago,
Yeah.
Oklahoma has decided to require ideology tests for teachers from New York and California.
Yes.
Which kind of leads into this, because there are Republicans that are defending using PragerU videos to teach elementary students.
Well, and PragerU is very much targeted. It has been very much targeted at homeschool parents,
Yep. Yep.
and it's like reactionary propaganda. It's about
Oh yeah.
indoctrinating children. It's like you watch the videos. I've had to watch so many of those fucking videos.
Thank you for taking the hit, man.
Yeah,
Because
those videos like
I've seen
are
the Columbus one
the
where
Columbus.
it's like,
Here's the thing: is the Columbus one is one of the better ones.
oof.
Like the the what they do to Frederick Douglass is almost certainly a hate crime.
Yeah, it's So
Like,
I'm looking at PragerU,
yeah.
a short history of slavery, and it's a 5 minute
Oh,
video that was posted August 23rd, 2021. It's 4 minutes long, and the it is hosted by Candace Owens because of course it is.
oh yeah.
And the tagline is slavery didn't start in 1492 when Columbus came to the New World. I have no idea why that's connected in her head.
Well, and actually, one of the first things Columbus did was enslave the Taino.
Well,
So it's
he committed
actually,
genocide on the Arawak Indians. Yeah.
well, he committed genocide on the Arawak and he enslaved the Taino. He was a
Hmm.
multitasker for multitasking motherfucker.
Oh yeah, and from some of the other stuff I've read is he wasn't too popular in his home country.
He was he was recalled to Spain by the king and queen to stand trial for his crimes against humanity. Do you have any idea how much of a fucking bastard you have to be to
Oof.
get Isabella and like Ferdinand and Isabella were at the same time instituting the Spanish Inquisition. The Spanish Inquisition
Yeah.
put Christopher Columbus on trial
It kind
for
of reminds
tyranny.
me. It kind of reminds me about how Hitler basically used the Southern strategy because he thought that was, I mean, it's like, you guys Americans had it right, but that one drop rule, that's a little too much for Nazis.
Oh, that was like the idea that the Nazis gazed upon Jim Crow and went, "These people are taking things entirely too far. How do you
I
have a
know,
functional
but
society?"
they do have a good plan. We should use some of
Yeah,
it.
I mean, like we should try what works here, but throw away the rest.
But the tagline continues. It didn't start in 1690 when the 19 when the first slaves landed in
Oh,
Jamestown. It's not a white phenomenon. The real history of slavery is long and complex. Candace Owen explains. And off to the side, I'm seeing videos like The Plantation, Then and Now. What's wrong with the 1619 project and playing the black card? So
God.
that gives you an idea of the scientific and historical rigor that PragerU has applied in.
Okay, so a fact check for y'all that is extremely pertinent here is that Candy Owens started her career as a public nuisance suing her high school for racist discrimination.
Hmm.
It was the settlement money she got from the high school that she was able to use to set herself up as Topsy for the internet.
Wow.
Like
That's a good way to put it.
she used money from a race-based discrimination suit because when she is the one who is getting, you know, rightfully abused by a bunch of freaking crackers, like she has absolutely no compunction about playing the black card.
Well, and throwing her own people under the bus.
Well, she will turn around and do that
Yeah.
now because she's got her, billionaire English husband,
Yeah.
and he's,
And racism is big business right now. Racism, sexism,
yeah,
homophobia, it's all big business.
oh
And
yeah.
that is very much, I think that's very much kind of tied psychologically in to the fact that we like drama, that we like distraction.
Well, and
Um,
all of this is a business. Like PragerU is, a nonprofit, but it's a nonprofit that pays Dennis Prager almost $1 million every single year. And I know a lot of people who work for nonprofits, and none of them get compensated like that.
yeah.
Like, if you have $1 million to pay the guy who's the founder of your of your like media channel $1 million a year,
Yeah.
you're making profit.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You
You
could
know,
talk about anything you want. You could talk for 2 hours about the crevices on nipples. I mean, it's like
they could do that. I mean, I think that there's an element of audience capture involved where they want to like get people who will like who are impressionable, like young children, like and indoctrinate them into this very sort of like mid 20th century mythological history
Mm.
that is predicated on supremacist ideology,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and works very closely with Christian dominionists
Mm-hmm.
and Zionists to you know take the excellent work that the Bill Gates Foundation did in
In Africa.
absolutely
Yeah.
no dog fucking our U.S. education system.
Mm.
Like the Rand Corporation's audit of the Gates Foundation's educational initiative found that they had failed on every possible metric.
Well, it's these Christian
Yeah,
organizations have no desire for a well-informed, educated populace. George
no,
Carlin
they
was
do.
right.
Right.
They want you knowing just enough so that you continue punching a clock until you
Right.
die.
Yeah, it's weird because the right have all of their conspiracy theories about Bill Gates, but they never talk about how the education initiative created a circumstance where we have like Rand Corporation hired by the Gates Foundation, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, to audit you know their 10-year long experiment on the nation's children,
Yeah.
said they failed across the board. It is really hard to read, but I recommend it. It's on their website. If you Google Rand Corporation, Gates Foundation Education Initiative, it's there. It says they failed. And as a result of that failure, something like 56% of American adults cannot read at the high school level.
I forget what the literacy rate is. It's a ridiculously high amount of people can't read past a sixth grade level.
That's what I just said. Yeah, they cannot read at
Yeah.
a high school level.
Yeah. And okay, so as human beings, if you give a shit about
Yeah,
like a deeper exploration of why we're here and who you are and why we do the things we do, you need to read sources that were written in good faith.
yeah,
And right now, the water is so muddied because of institutions like PragerU and
right.
other Heritage Foundation backed,
Yeah,
initiatives that
right.
that are trying to make truth not matter anymore
Post
because they
truth.
want to they want to win elections. That's it. They want to be
Post
in
truth
power.
is one of those like it sounds like such a absurd concept,
Yeah.
but when you realize that no, actually, like a liar knows they're lying to you, and they
Mhm.
are doing it intentionally to hide the truth.
Yep.
The the post truth operative doesn't give a shit about lying because truth is whatever I say it is,
Mhm.
which is something that comes back to like Dennis Prager and like this like really bizarre personal philosophy that is derived from this sense of innate superior spirituality, or not innate spirituality, innate superiority,
Mhm.
derived from some form of religious permission, either I am washed in the blood of the lamb, or I am a member of the tribe, or I
I
was touched.
belong.
Yeah,
I am included. Yeah.
I was given a tab of K by Elon Musk's own hand, like, and I am one of the elect, and
Yeah.
therefore I'm not capable of being wrong.
Yeah. Because I've seen the truth.
Yeah.
Well,
And
and yeah.
if someone tries to show that my statement is not true, it doesn't matter because I said it.
Yeah.
And I will make people believe my truth. And it is troubling to think about the level of like both narcissism on one side and total lack of emotional development on the other
Sociopathy.
side. Like just you have to be like so stunted at such a small age to have like an ego that is so brittle that like if you have to change your understanding of the truth, you would rather force everyone else to accept an alternate reality.
Yeah,
Like,
I call that catastrophic fragility. It's essentially, you hear something that makes you question everything you believe,
right.
and you either dig deeper and go, okay, I gotta get my shit straight because I found out that something that I believed wasn't wrong or wasn't right, and so now I need to figure that out. Whereas these fundamentalist Christians are like, no, you don't ever question.
No.
You don't even let the question come in. You give it all to God.
Well, and the question is the devil. The
Yeah.
questioning it is a surrender to the evil one,
Hmm.
which
Which makes it really easy for people to manipulate and coerce, and yeah.
well, and I like the number of them who get caught just doing disgusting things
Oh,
is
there is a there
like you
is
can
a
see the
spreadsheet.
correlation in the court records. Like
There's a
one
spreadsheet of all of the Republicans who have been caught in very questionable circumstances, and it's long.
Yeah, it's huge. That's the thing. Is and the Democrats have their fuck ups,
Yeah, they
and
do.
at the same time we deal with them harshly, except for Bill Clinton. He's the lamb,
He's a
and the
missing
rest of them,
stair.
Anthony Weiner,
Oh
like
God.
they took him out back and hit him with a friggin' hammer,
And then
like
Al Franken?
through Al Franken, another one, you know, just
I mean,
and
it frustrates me that the impetus for Al Franken was a video where it looked like he was groping someone.
it was a photograph.
It was
It
a
was a still
photograph, and
photograph.
there were no other stories of Al Franken coming forward. Nobody came forward, but how many people have claimed that Republican senators or people within the Republican Party or people in the conservative Christian movement have graped their children or beaten their wives or murdered their spouses or pushed their spouses down the stairs while they were pregnant?
What was the name of that paraplegic twink congressman
Oh
who?
God, the guy that basically it was that bedroom romp with another guy. That,
Yeah, there
oh,
was the
no
bedroom
homo.
video, but then like he was the one who was like talking about how like they were doing key bumps in the cloakroom
Oh
and
yeah,
all
they
kinds
they
of
they shut
like,
him down real quick.
oh, they took him out to to
Madison Cawthorn.
Madison Hawthorne.
Yeah,
Yeah, they took him out swimming at Great Falls. Like they made him disappear and quick. Um,
yeah.
which is what they do, what you do to people when they lying.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like Madison Cawthorn, like he was a strange kid.
Well, I think he was talking about the sexual perversion in Washington.
Yeah,
Talking about how he'd been invited to orgies by unnamed lawmakers. This was back in March 2022.
right.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I just.
Well, and then like this like brings us back to the whole like Epstein list thing,
Hmm.
you know,
Oh,
um,
God, yeah.
because there's all kinds of intersectionalities between, all the different, operatives working honeypots
Yeah.
against the the elites.
Well,
But
and various governments.
yeah,
I mean,
Well, like it makes sense that you like if you're running some kind of spy ring,
Thank
you'd
you,
want
Resident Moon.
every government, you know?
Oh yeah, well, it's so there's a I know that this episode is not about Epstein. We should probably do an episode about Epstein.
Oh my God, we're gonna get to it.
But they're talking like there's rumblings that it could be he was a Russian spy, he was an Israeli spy, he was and
No,
when you
see,
realize that his entire house was full of cameras, of course
yeah,
he was
well,
collecting compromat. How did he get all that
no one,
money?
no one seems to appreciate that, the like Putin's Russia and the conservatives in Israel are like this. Like, like
Oh yeah,
where do all the settlers? Because you hear about the settlers, right?
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
where do they come from? They come from Russia. Why
Mm,
do they come from Russia? Because Putin has Cossacks,
mm.
skinhead gangs, and you know, Jews don't get treated great in Russia.
Yeah, not so much. The pogroms were pretty awful.
It's not quite on the level of actual pogroms, but like individual people, they get beat up, and then when they go to the police and say, "Oh, a gang of skinheads beat me up and spit on me and called me slurs," and the cops go, "This would never happen to you in Israel, my friend." I'm not saying that we're not going to try and make it stop, but I'm just saying
Yeah,
that Israel will move you and give you a house for
yeah. We
free.
might do something.
Yeah. Well, I can't control my nephew.
Yeah,
I can't control my nephew. If I could control my nephew, he'd be in here working for me. I can't control him. He's out in the street. If he burns your house down tomorrow, I can't do anything about that. If I could, I would. But the Israelis, go to their embassy. They'll take care of it.
oh man.
And that's why there's an Israeli embassy in a town of 400 people in Siberia.
Wow,
like like
wow.
it's a thing. Like they're the Russian Putin wants a very Russified Russia, and that means getting people who are not Rusi out of Russia.
Yeah.
And
It looks like Irony Writ has commented, if people keep talking about it, they might summon some Epstein egregore. That'd be interesting.
how exactly I feel like, okay, so like that actually, like, one of the Epstein conspiracy theories that I just can't give any bandwidth to, but I know it's out there,
Hmm.
and I'm low-key paying attention to like how much it spreads, is the Epstein is not dead.
Oh yeah, he's
like
hanging out with
like there's
Elvis and JFK.
there's like the baseline tinfoil hat. Like, you don't actually need a tinfoil hat to go, Epstein didn't kill himself. And if he did kill himself, we weren't told the truth about it, because he might actually have decided to kill himself because someone was standing on the other side of the bars going, dude, if you don't, I will.
Possible, possible. Well,
Like,
all right. So it
thing.
is 3:04.
We've been
We're at
going for an
around
hour.
an hour.
Yeah, we've covered the main topics of the thing. Like,
Yeah. So do we think that Labubu and Pazuzu is a valid conspiracy, that it's actually
no,
got a demonic
I'm
influence?
I think it is genuinely a viral marketing strategy, designed to sell more Labubus.
Okay. Okay. I would not be surprised if some Karen decided
Oh,
that
I'm
she
I,
hated Labubu and she
I am
wanted to make
sure
it their problem.
I am sure that there are some smooth brains
Yeah.
in the Bible Belt who are going to, like, attach to this thing and give it a life of its own, and that there will be Labubu burnings next Halloween.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know,
All right.
uh,
So PragerU.
PragerU.
PragerU. I would say that it's so a conspiracy is such a loaded term, but
Okay, but it's not theoretical in this case. We
no.
can trace how, like, Dennis Prager, since the 80s, has been setting himself up as a thought leader. In 2009, he created this phony education company to indoctrinate kids, and boom, you got the Trump administration taking this creepy guy and putting his stuff into the national curriculum for patriotic education. Like the conspiracy is right there in front of us. Any
Yeah.
you don't need any like red tape or evidence to get there. It's right in front of your eyes.
Yeah.
Like,
And I would like to encourage viewers, if they want to do a deeper dive, read the book Shadow Network, Media, Money, and the Secret Hub of the Radical Right by Ann Nelson. It is a deep, uncomfortable dive of exactly how connected everything is and exactly how long this has been going on.
the reason that the left doesn't have a Joe Rogan is directly related to the fact that there are no leftist billionaires funding media networks. You know,
Yeah.
the difference in scale between Hassan Abi or Hassan Piker and Joe Rogan, that's the natural balance of artificially inflated, you know, billionaire money and organic support.
Yeah. Well,
You
I
know,
mean, but that's what we're dealing with in elections too, because of the fact that we can't seem to get money out of politics.
no, we can't seem to get money out of politics because, if you want to talk about like, here's the thing that's always been kind of funny to me is, you know, my concept of Christianity as I was, brought up in the church was pretty anti-capitalist.
Mm, interesting.
Um, because, blessed are the poor.
Ah, back
And
back when the church actually echoed Jesus' like message
right,
instead of the
exactly.
genocidal crazy man running shit in the Old
Thus
Testament.
those fucking Franciscans and their whole like woke Christianity, like the the idea that like
Blessed
if
are the
you
meek.
like well the idea is like if you're blessed enough to get rich, you should really be giving your money away, and ideally you should give your money away to like kind of shady church charities rather than like doing right by people in a more productive way. But the point being that like the whole prosperity gospel thing has always
Oh,
struck me as like just like a like sort of Stephen King like, what if there was a church but it was actually run by a satanic cult
and it was actually a bank,
and it was actually a bank. Exactly.
right? I just,
Right.
oh my god.
Yeah, like, what if the church controlled the banks? It's like
Well, I mean, we've already seen this movie. The Vatican has been in charge of ridiculous sums of money for generations. You
and the
know,
class and the classic conspiracy, the prototypical conspiracy theory, the archetypal conspiracy theory is the church run bankers turning and going, well, the problem is those Jews. It's not us. We're doing Christian banking.
we're doing
Those
God's work.
guys, they won't get on board. Pick on them. Let us
Hmm.
keep our money.
Oh
But
yeah,
like, and you see that so much in just the way that like America is, run by a bunch of like rich white Christian dudes, and so many of the conspiracy theories we're going to be talking about run into blood libel and uh, what is it, reptilian DNA,
oh
and
God, that
all this like
anti-Semite trope. Oh,
all these anti-Semitic tropes.
mm-hmm.
you know and then you
Yeah.
have PragerU, where you actually have a kind of creepy old Jewish guy running an ideologically driven institution meant to indoctrinate children.
Yep.
into what I would call a pretty evil view of the world.
Yeah.
So, sometimes the truth actually works out being every bit as creepy as the weird stuff that they're talking about in the World Weekly News.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I feel like this is, yes, Silicon Valley runs on like, cyber Satanism. I don't even want to get into that. We'll be talking for another hour.
Oh my God. Yeah. It definitely runs on hedonism. I tend to think that there are, and this is probably gonna, we'll need to talk about this on another episode. But when you have enough money that governments can't move against you, you end up becoming your own portrait of Dorian Gray.
Oh yeah. Like you can't help but become a monster. Like I don't believe in the authoritarian like without the Bible people would have no morality. But then you look at Silicon Valley and it's just like some people definitely yeah. Like some people clearly need Jesus cuz
Well, I
wow.
don't even know if it's necessarily Jesus. It would be great if some people had I don't know fucking empathy.
Well, right. Like we like Silicon Valley is this amazing experiment in like what happens when people who are functional psychopaths, take a shit ton of DMT and still don't gain any empathy.
Yeah, yeah. That
Like,
which is
which is what
bizarre to
happens.
me. Which is bizarre to me. I just I would never do this because it would be illegal.
Yeah, yeah.
But the idea of putting psilocybin in a water supply
Oh, I know.
and
Yeah.
then hosting like a big event where everybody can just hang out and talk,
Right.
dude. But
Oh my God.
you're taking away free agency, and
You are.
that's not good. Like
No.
dosing people without their approval is not kosher.
Right.
But I mean, who's to say that that would not completely change the tone of a community's conversation?
Well, I mean the hilarious conclusion of the infamous MK Ultra experiment,
Mm.
you know, they they were like, we're gonna give these people LSD and we're gonna dose them up and we're gonna find out if we can, use it in interrogations and blah blah blah. And it's just like they're just turning into fucking hippies. Like all it
Mm.
does is boost empathy. Like, we can get a certain amount of information, and then they're just sort of like, "Why do you care about this shit, man? None of it matters. The thing is that I am here, and you are here, and we are here." And it's like, we can't do this anymore. We have to stop this. We're gonna wind up. Everybody's gonna go to San Francisco. Flowers in their hair. Shut it down.
Everybody's going to actually, I don't know, enjoy their lives and have rich, meaningful conversations. What a bummer that
Well,
would be.
you know my theory about Barney and Betty Hill, right?
Mm.
Okay, so because they were an interracial couple and they had to drive this like crazy route to get from Niagara Falls to their home in Connecticut, I want to say,
Mm.
uh, maybe New Hampshire, but in but so they had to drive up through Montreal.
Okay.
Montreal is one of the cities where the CIA had a guy doing MK Ultra experiments at that time.
Ah, okay.
Their whole experience could be explained by their having been dosed in Montreal without their knowledge.
Oof.
And then, like 2, 3 hours later, they're driving through the mountains, and a chopper with a big lamp array starts following them. And some like short little dudes in wetsuits pull them out of the car and torture them for a couple hours and put them on a flatbed and take them back home. Just park the car there. The car doesn't
Ugh.
have the right mileage because it was on a flatbed for an hour.
Yeah.
You know, no explanation of how they arrived where they are. Like you could totally like that's totally feasible.
Oh, yeah.
It makes perfect sense to explain like this traumatic And the thing that happened was, Barney Hill was an NAACP organizer in the post office before that event. The
Mm.
trauma he experienced in that abduction made it so he couldn't drive at night.
Oh,
He eventually had to like change jobs. I think he stayed with the post office, but he couldn't do the job he was doing as a truck driver.
yeah.
Um, and he couldn't like function as an activist anymore.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, I mean that effectively dismantled him.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
it
And
just ugh.
there's a great podcast from his daughter, Angela Hill, where she has her dad on and interviews her dad about him,
Okay.
which is where I got all of that information. They don't go into the tinfoil hat shit, but
Mm-hmm.
they do point out that they were like, oh, something definitely happened to him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the change in his personality was so dramatic that you had to believe that he experienced something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And once you, because the most people who talk about the case do not talk about what Barney did for a living. They don't talk about Barney being a civil rights activist. They barely talk about the fact that they were in an interracial relationship.
Yeah. Oof.
And the idea that they could have been targeted for that kind of uh, abduction experience is, it's a terrifying testament to like how far our government could be willing to go to stop people from organizing.
Oh yeah.
And it's
Oh yeah.
something to, it's why we do this.
Yes.
Yes, because we're not afraid of the government.
No, we're not.
We've got
we've got
real
we've got
proper
protection.
mind
We've
beam
got
blocking
protection.
tinfoil hats.
That's right. That's right. Nobody's getting in.
Nobody's getting in. I've been wearing this thing for about an hour now, and I feel so much smarter. Over an hour now. I've been wearing this for like an hour and a half.
I know, right? But
Wear
it's
this thing
over.
for an hour and a half, and I feel so, like this is like being on Wellbutrin.
It doesn't really breathe though, so my head's getting
No, it doesn't. Like my head is very sweaty right now.
Thank you so much.
This has been awesome. So we're
Yeah.
gonna do it again in 2 weeks, right?
Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna try and stream every 2 weeks, and we will have
Right.
a new topic every 2 weeks. Oh, wait a minute. We have another comment before we jump out. Irony
Okay.
Rit. I have a friend who has missing time and ended up 50 miles from their previous location. They did not have the same bad reaction, but they were missing 20 minutes of time, which means they would have had to have traveled over 130 miles per hour to get where they ended up in that time. They didn't flip out like that, and they're an older gay couple. This happened back in the 1990s, from what I hear.
Weird.
Yeah, yeah. I have bilocated as well while driving. That's a story for another time. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Everybody who commented. Thank you, Resident Moon, for being the awesome bouncer. And we'll see you next episode.
All right.